Welcome back to my channel. This is my economy review of the Lufthansa flight LH796 from Frankfurt to Hong Kong on the Airbus A340-600. I did book a reward flight through the United portal utilizing the Star Alliance network. What was nice is that we did get there early for our connecting flight. However, there were still a few things that were open. But overall, the Frankfurt airport, there's not a lot to see unless you're just trying to grab a couple of snacks of grab and go type of things. Just like with other EU carriers, you scan your ticket or you scan your phone and you go through the turnstiles to board your plane. Before we did get to Frankfurt, we did take the Lufthansa, budget airline Eurowings that was part of the connecting flight. As you go down the ramp and board onto the airplane, you're greeted by a couple of flight attendants just like any other airline. And turning right through business class, I believe this is premium economy because they do have the 232 configuration before we get into the economy section, which has a 242 configuration. Overall, the economy seat was fine. The pitch was 31 inches and the width was 17.3 inches. And as part of the normal essentials, they do give you a blanket and a pillow to use throughout the flight. Overall, the screen was pretty good to use. It was pretty responsive, and I believe it was 9 inches, in total. And it had your normal things. You could watch movies, TV shows, music, audiobooks, podcasts, live TV, and they had a wide variety. You can search from American movies all the way up to foreign movies from around the world. And as we pushed back, they started to introduce the safety videos that were shown before we took off into our flight.
Sie sind gesetzlich verpflichtet, to fasten your seatbelt whenever you are seated.
I sped up the next few frames to get to the good stuff. And once we were in the cabin, here's the image of the flight mat. That was pretty cool. You can see which city that you're flying over. The big tube that you see there, that is the bathroom. You had to walk downstairs and they had an alleyway of probably, I think, about 6 lavatories all mixed into one, which I did appreciate because it was kind of just kept in an area versus being across from someone's seat. Bathroom check, it had the normal typical things. You had your mirror, you had your sink, you had your toilet, and it had even, I think, a little nozzle that the bathroom could air out if needed. Right, let's get to in-cabin service. And what I really did like about Lufthansa is they did hand out a menu so you knew what was going to be served. So you had a choice between the chili prawns and the ravioli. And before they started handing out meals, they did have a snack and beverage service where you could choose sodas, water, juices, beer, or wine to go with your dinner. And this is a picture of the meal before I open up the main course. I really do like they did give metal silverware, and this is couscous. They called it the tangerine crumble cake, but to me it was really just a brownie. They give bread, butter, and cheese, and this is a close-up of how the prawns look like up close, and it was very delicious for an airplane meal. There wasn't really a mid-flight snack, but they did hand out waters and chocolates throughout mid-flight, but you did have the option that you could go up and you could go to the snack bin and they had the crackers that they served earlier. And for our pre-arrival meal, they did give us a sandwich and they gave us some yogurt with a granola bar. Second meal, I will say it was more like a 6 out of 10. I really wanted to like Lufthansa. Let's start with the good. The flight was on time. The seats were pretty comfortable throughout the flight. And the bathrooms were downstairs separated from the seats in an alleyway. The first meal was hot, delicious, and it was served with silverware. Let's talk about the bad. The second meal, pre-arrival, it wasn't really that great. It was cold and it looked like someone just took whatever out of the fridge and put something together for a lunch. And there wasn't really a mid-flight snack, so in between the first meal and the pre-arrival meal, you were kind of hungry. They gave you crackers and chocolates, but it really wasn't something that really tied you over unless you brought something else on board. And this might be an anomaly. We did have damaged luggage, so we did have to go spend some time to go to the counter to claim it. And then once we got home, we had to also submit additional documentation with a third-party website where they did give a certain amount, but it wasn't a very equal trade-off because the amount they gave us, we could only get a medium-sized luggage, and what they damaged was a large-sized luggage. So it wasn't very comparable, and that was a little bit disappointing. But I'll take that out. But in terms of Lufthansa and everything, from the service to the food, I think overall it's a pretty solid 7 out of 10. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. But also, if you have a question, or let me know what you'd like to see in the future in the comment section below. Also, I'll leave a picture of what the luggage looks like from the damage section. It had a dent and when the wheels was inoperable. But appreciate you guys tuning in and hope you guys stay tuned in for more.